Check, 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 check. I should wait and see. Hold on. Let me see. Y'all Bama's can hear me. Hold on, I'm making sure you guys can hear me. All right. Okay. Okay. Get your hand out my pocket. It's your brother. Brother Mr. X. Here, giving you what you want, to give you what you need, and I absolutely want to share this on the book right now as I'm going live, so that brothers and sisters across the world and continent can see us having a fireside chat about conditions, about people, and do blue lives really matter? If they do to you, and I know it does, you find me some blue people, I got a bridge in Brooklyn you can buy, and I'll sell it to you for cheap. Because that's where we are, brothers and sisters. That's where we are. People who are interested in exterminating us, and they utilize those blue lives to do so. It's unfortunate, but it's the life that we live. Excuse me. It's the life that we live. We don't want to live it, right? We want to get out of the condition that we are in. We do. And I hope that Black people who are watching and listening will make the necessary adjustments to solve our 400-year-old problem. All right, so I am Mr. X, giving you what you want to give you what you need. This is Get Your Hand in My Pocket. I'm glad you're listening. I'm glad you're watching. Shirt a little bit. I know I got the quarantine fro, which I was told I just have not scheduled a haircut. Nowadays, you have to schedule a haircut. Back in the day, you just, back in the day, which was like 5 months ago, you could just go to a barbershop, say, hey, how many you got? Cool, I got 2. That's how we did in the Black barbershop. Yeah. Great. All right, cool. Said 3. You're waiting after 3, you're going to be in there a couple hours. Sit down, put your headphones on, get a nap. Can't do that no more. Now you got to schedule. You got to call ahead and schedule. People are good at that. I'm not very good at that. I usually get to this point right here, and then finally I say, all right, I'm going to schedule the barber. Shout out to Brother Will. I say, man, you got to clean me up. And he said, sit down, you look crazy. I think that fro look nice, you know what I'm saying, when I got it. But he was like, nah, man, you look crazy. I got to look humane. And he usually cleans me up very good. So good that the wife wants to tussle. So I got to make a visit to him, see what's going on with him. The more important thing, though, is a few days ago. No, yesterday afternoon, there was, and this, I shouldn't say yesterday because you can watch this video 2 years from now. Well, I'm just going to deal with Back to Blue rallies in particular. There was one here in Albany, New York. Shout out to Albany, New York. Um, any state, any city, any county, even you, they're probably having Blue Lives Matter rallies to juxtaposition the Black Lives Matter rallies. Right now, we know there's no such thing as Blue Lives Matter. And what I want to ask the family, does blue lives really matter? I mean, who is the blue? I mean, back to blue. Black, I mean, blue uniforms, the officers that wear the blue uniforms. Well, let's give a little backdrop, as we do regularly on most what you would call conscious channels, and that one person from YouTube who watches every live video to see what's going on. I'm the only person that goes live, and it's just that one person listening. Now, usually people got large followers. They always got like 200, 300, 400, or 1,000, so you never find that one person. But me, you just know that's that one person. That's the Fed. And it's like we have talked about this discussion for a very long time, not regularly. Public education denotates that you don't discuss anything outside the bare minimum curriculum that they give you that is useless to all people. So even the discussion of how police treat black people and have a candid, honest, and progressive discussion does not occur, especially with people that it needs to be discussed with, young black boys who are being hunted in the streets. I'm trying to give context. So after several killings, eventually some type of march, some type of energy is created, and people take to the streets. This is insane. Why are these officers bringing such force? Police officers only bring violence. Now, again, I've had several great, I won't say great, encounters that went business-like with police officers. I'm still here talking to you. I would never say, hey, sir, just act accordingly and you won't be harmed. What do they call it again? Comply or die? Well, you see, we got footage of brothers complying and still getting shot. Means they're getting hunted. One brother worked at a particular mental illness facility, and one of the residents escaped, and he was tussling with the young man to get him back within the facility. Well, the facility is in a residential neighborhood, so someone saw this and called the police. Now, usually when people call the police, white people, when they call the police on us, we're like, my God, he's crazy and insane. He's got guns. He's got 12 guns. He's got 14 guns. He's pointing them at me. He's going crazy. So this is on code. The officers come ready to roll. Oh, we got one. Bam. They come on 10. And so the brother saw them coming. During that time, there had been a few police killings of black men. There's really no time where there wasn't. And he was there on his, sitting down with his hands up. As soon as they got there, he was like this. They shot him anyway. Luckily, he lived. And unfortunately, he's kind of coonish. But you say comply, the man had already known what the instructions were going to be, did exactly what the officers were going to tell him. He was proactive. Like that scene from Fresh Prince. You remember when Will Smith was breaking it down? Let me see if I can find that. Will Smith was breaking it down. It was like season 2. And like season 2, and they had got it assumed that they had stolen the car. And so Will and Carlton were having a discussion with the police officer. And so Will, having been from West Philly and being from the hood, he anticipated what the officer was going to do. Carlton, living in high society, did not know what was going to happen. So he found out. Man, I tell you, Carlton Banks, what a character. Whoever created him, genius. It made Will Smith look like Huey Newton. He made Will look like Huey Newton. And so you had to connect with Will. Y'all hear that? It's kind of low. This volume is really, really low. Yeah, you can probably better hear this. Well, you can't really hear it. But in any case, I was going to play the scene with Will and Carlton, and they were having an interaction with the police officer, and the officer telling them to get out the car and put their hands up, and put your hands behind your back and all that good stuff. And so the young brother, whom had did that, like I said, had got shot in the arm, or shot in the armpits. So there's been instances where we still have been physically assaulted, and the cops haven't done exactly what the officers wanted us to do. So you go back to the system of racism, white supremacy. Why do they want us dead? Well, black man has the phallus, can produce or reproduce himself in all entities. Their antecedents found out that we basically can color you out. That no matter what, if it comes out of a black womb or a black phallus, the product is black or color. Right? And so this is why you have movies which falsely have these pairings of dark melanated people or halfway melanated people, different other ethnic groups with some type of African genetics. They have a child, and the child is literally white. Rock Johnson plays this composite character where he's multiracial, and so he can be with a white woman, and the product of their union, or physical sexual union, is a white girl. And we know that's not true because we've seen The Rock's father. That's all over YouTube. You can check The Rock and his father, and they're about the same complexion. But in the movies, The Rock has a lot of white children. They want to make you think that they're genetically superior. This is what they put in your mind, right? So this could be the reason, one of many, that they want us dead. The military apparatus of any nation is its police. First responders is what they call them, right? Then you got other different sects within the military infrastructure. The Army, the Navy, the National Guard, the troopers, so on and so forth. All these guys are basically with uniforms with guns that can kill you. FBI, CIA, they have these different subsects organizations that they break off, special task force units and things like that, all to make sure the niggas are in line. Now, you run of the mill, back the blue American knows about this. They are fully aware of the infrastructure, its history, and most importantly, its current purpose. They support that in all factions and functions. When it comes to black people, this is what I'm talking about. When it comes to black people, the rally I attended the other day had speakers and songs. A lot of white folks, a lot of motorcycles, a lot of flags, a lot of Trumps. Back the blue rallies are white supremacist rallies. They are rallies to support racism, white supremacy, and to, as it relates to the Negro, keep it exactly the way it is. They have issues. I tell people all the time, white folks got issues with one another big time. When it comes to the black issue, the race issue, what to do with the Negro, then they're on one accord. The Negroes are to stay where they are, or we have to get rid of them totality. That's a real discussion. There's been a discussion for a very long time. A mass genocide campaign. So in certain parts of the world, you got mass of Africans getting murdered and slaughtered. You got earthquakes and natural disasters created by machines that wipe out islands. Then corporate entities that created the machine go there and collect the remains as to sell them on the black market or keep old raggedy white folks alive. Why else would you take our eyes and our liver and our hearts and whatnot? That's also something that you can look up on YouTube. Where a lady just happened to stumble upon a crate full of eyes. Oops. Why are there eyes in the crate? This was in Haiti. Why first responders coming immediately after a natural disaster, but they don't have equipment to do emergency surgery. This looked like morgue equipment. But there's still a lot of people alive. Why don't you have any major surgery or life-preserving equipment, life-saving equipment? You got some Band-Aids and some HVAC. So what you trying to say? Those who are near death, they sat and waited till they died. And as soon as they died, they got to cutting up and taking their organs while they were warm. These are facts. I'm not lying to you. This is what's really happening. Back the Blue rallies, as I've seen them. Some got thousands. The one I went to had hundreds. All I saw was purses and pocketbooks, in my eyes, purses and pocketbooks backing the police unions to do what they have currently been doing. And the only weapon we got really is protest, because we don't have an economic game together. And if there is an opportunity to acquire wealth and resources with your community, partake, please. If you know what I'm talking about, some of y'all do, get involved. Because while I was there, that's what I saw. Them paying to put the people they want in place and in power. They had former sheriffs and mayors and governors from Arizona, out west, the most racist places they could find, Kentucky. Just abhorrent racism, just like over the top 1960s segregation type racism. Segregation now, segregation forever type racism. But they were smooth. You know what I didn't hear? The entire time there? Nigger. I didn't hear nigger one time. This is the paradigm shift in racism and white supremacy. The Negro will think, wow, America maybe is changing. I mean, I'm at a Back the Blue rally and I haven't been called a nigger. This is an old school KKK type of vibe here, but no one's saying nigger. Maybe we can change. No, sir, I am not dumb. I was born at night, not last night. The paradigm is shift. They're saying they're Marxists. I heard Marxists. I heard they're socialists. I heard that we're anarchists. Huh? I heard that these guys are terrorists. They want to defund the police. The most aggressive thing we heard was, the police are saving your ass right now. Get out of here, asshole. That's what I heard. It's kind of loopy, a little retarded. Like somebody else's cousin's aunt's uncle's mother. One of those type of things going on. I saw that a lot. I saw a lot of that. You know what they did? They want to chat. They want to talk. See, you're going to get different narratives from me. I'm going to give you my narrative. I'm going to give you the true narrative. Right? I ain't going to lie to you. All right? You're talking to a wide-eyed, wide-awake man. Now, was it stupid for us to go down there? Whatever. The cowards to say, yeah, we went down there. Shout out the House Peace. Shout out to Brother Luke and his group. Shout out to GNN. Went down there, got it on film, did the interviews. They were there. Sometimes you got to go to the belly of the beast. Sometimes you have to be present to show, hey, man, you don't just see video after video. You can't say I wasn't where I was at. That I saw knives. A lot of them guys had knives. Anybody could roll up on me and said, I'm going to get this one. I'm going to gut you like a fish. You don't know what's going on in the mind of these white folks. You ain't never safe. I mean, is this a system of white supremacy or not? We are not safe nowhere. And shout out to King Flex, whenever you leave the home, shout out to Millie Fuller. When you leave the home, your home, expect not to return. In the system of white supremacy, a plantation, a prison, if you leave your home, expect not to come back. And I went to the belly of the beast. Mom, you crazy? You got children. Go take care of them if they kill me. And my wife will tell the story. You're not telling the story. My wife will tell the story of why I went down. Because you can't be on the sidelines doing commentary, doing media, and not there in the thick of things. Shout out to GNN. He was not what I considered in terms of level of consciousness. He doesn't operate from there. But damn, the man is brave enough to be on 1st and 2nd Street, dodging bullets to get the story, and then come to white supremacist rallies and get the story. So much respect for a brother who's braver than 99% of the conscious community. Shout out to the brother. And we had our brother Bam Menetzetep took the podium up there. So we made our presence known. There was a black presence known. Shout out to Hawk Newsom. He had done it before. Look up Hawk Newsom. Now we have differences. We do. But we were on one accord and a solidarity amongst ourselves there. I personally went to make my presence known. We are not scared. Eventually, I'm going to have my young brothers around Albany know all about you. And the next time you have this rally, they're going to want to come. I'm not going to organize them to come. They're going to come because they've been politicized. And I'll let them know exactly what that means. They was only a couple blocks from the hood. The hood was right there. The state capitol ain't too far from the hood. The hood is right there. So they want to gentrify it out. So it's completely controlled by white folks. Now, we dwell places. Our communities are controlled by outside forces. We know that. But now, you want to have the outside control, and you want to have the inside control, and you even have the inside residence. Back to Blue is like them old school picnics. Picnic where they bring a nigga out and they hang them and burn them. And they probably ate them afterwards. So considering there was food there and you had the meat and they're known to consumers, that's a fact. They probably did. The children in those pictures that are smiling are grandparents. Their children are at the Back to Blue rallies. You know that, right? Those hanging pictures that you see, the smiling children, they are now grandchildren. They are now grandparents, and their children are at those rallies. This is what I will say. Discussion with the oppressor people. All you're going to find out is how racist they are. Now, if you're willing to do that, okay. For military strategies, you want to know how racist of a moment you really dealing with. Okay, I get that. Okay. Several times during that outing, several white folks tried to have a conversation. Throughout the rally, I seen a lot came to have conversations with certain people. What they try to do is find the Negro. They do the Negro hunt. Hey, let's have the conversation. Nothing's going to change. The points of view is not going to change. They're going to go back to where they came from, or they may be hanging around within the community to catch a nigga slipping. Yeah, they do that too. Because several white militia groups were there too, on deck, ready to roll, ready to make it happen. Because that's what they do. You know, hunt Negroes. And so they try to have that discussion with you for you to be happy Negro. And if the conversation is going well, you'll be that smiling dark Negro taking pictures. And then they use that against the masses of our people. Because while this is going down, there's still Negroes who are willing to talk and have conversation. Because that's how we got to start. We got to start with conversation. Hey, man, let's just cut to the chase. Those railroads you got, can we have half of those? Let's just go right to it. And all the revenue that comes through on these tracks, we get it. And we'll delineate it and distribute it in the way that we see fit. And the most needed communities will get the bulk of it. We get them rolling right away. Chicago, Detroit, certain areas in New York. That's where the conversation starts. Resources and ownership. Hey, those city contracts that you get for janitronics, construction. Yeah. What do I have? Let's start there. Defunding the police. I heard that a few times. What does that mean? Let's deal with that right quick. All the resources that's put in the defense budget. White folks are big time gun ownership people. Second Amendment rights. You cannot take my gun. You stop trying to get my gun. It's my gun. All right? It's mine. And you can't have it. My gun. And it's the individual white person is a microcosm of the macrocosm, which is society, which is based off the white man's thoughts. America loves its guns and its weaponry. Big defense budget. What can we do to defend America and our interests abroad? So when you say defund the police, you're talking about the defense budget. That's why I said, what's his name? Bernie Sanders wasn't going to win. He's talking about taking money from here, taking money from there, and we'll take money from the defense budget. I'm like, look, you can stop all that other stuff. I mean, you can say, man, that's crazy. White folks are going to go for it. But the defense budget is going to get you shot. Take money from the defense budget? These white folks ain't stand for that. That's taking my gun. So defund the police is taking my guns. Meaning all this military weaponry and extra RoboCop stuff that you all are able to acquire, that's got to go. That's got to go. It's got to go, Craig. What do you need grenades for? I don't know if they got grenades, but they get ex-military weaponry. Who knows if it's ex-military? That's what they tell us. So shout out to my military people. Y'all let me know if it's the same weaponry y'all get. They put it down here in the streets. Our kids get it too. As Chicagoans, our kids get it. Heard gunshots a couple weeks ago outside my home, down the block. See, our answer to that is to run away somewhere where it's nice, quote unquote, and that there's very few black people because we think all black people are criminalistic, and if they're there, it's the hood, and somebody's going to get shot eventually, so we'll live on our white folks because we feel safer, right? But we get story after story after story of black people going wayward, trying to walk home or knocking on a door and getting shot or shot at because, oh my God, there's been a string of burglaries. Right. And so it must be him who came and knocked on the door because that's what robbers do. They come and knock on the door. Ring the doorbell. Hey, is anybody home? I'm coming to rob you. Just want to know if anybody's home. And they open the door, boom, boom, boom. Now they could just be like, hey man, ain't gonna happen here. What you want? We don't want no visitors right now. We're high alert, a lot of burglaries. We cool, man. He opened the door like boom, 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 boom. You see the video. The kids saw and took off running. And the mother said, she wanted to be white. Look that up. That's crazy. Mother that wants to be white because son was shot at during assumed home invasion or something like that. Put it on YouTube. It'll come right up. Yeah. Yep. That's the psyche of our people. That's the psyche of our people. We want to be safe. We don't want to be shot by police officers, right? Now, that's going on. You deal with it. You have access to the news. You report the news, right? So our people are absolutely, unbelievably insane in this society. And you want to keep them that way. So you have back to blue rallies. And then you use words like Marxist and socialist and anarchist. I said that earlier, right? And so they wasn't using the word nigga, they were using other things. And because I'm hip on game, I know what you're really trying to say is you believe in American capitalism. That's exploitation. The caste system, international Western power structure. No, we don't want to share anything. I ain't sharing jack. I got my land, I got my guns, I got my property. Socialism, we share everything, right? White folks ain't trying to share nothing. If I got 55 acres in Texas and I haven't used it or accessed it from the time that I occupied it or acquired it in 1955 and it's 2020, we actually need those acres right now because apparently to you we have a population problem, but I'm in New York and there's so many towns around here with empty land and space, and we're only jam-packed in the black community on top of each other. But maybe that's just me, because whatever white folks tell us, we just supposed to believe it. And they were saying some anti-government stuff there. They call us anarchists, and they got mad anarchist groups involved with the rally. Like, come on, stop playing. You guys planned in years to have these rallies and put up the bread to do so. Okay? So it's not on one entity. And it was sponsored by a white supremacist organization. The Justice, Liberty People, or something like that. Whenever they overtly American, it's a white supremacist organization. Uphold the ideals of the Constitution. What are you talking about? So, do blue lives really matter? Right? Should we take that in total consideration? Even though it's an absolute slap in the face to Black Lives Matter, which means stop killing niggas in the street. We gotta protect the police, and the police say, I understand that. It's got nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. And y'all get a whole payout for killing us. You got a whole infrastructure set up for dead black people. We protest and things go back to normal. And meanwhile, blue lives matter. What are we supposed to do with that? And what do you think? Do you back the blue? Are you an informant? Are you a cop? Brother, I saw a lot of brothers with badges out there. They didn't say a word. They didn't know what to do. They seemed confused. I just watched. I observed. A little tussle, a little razzle-dazzle. But I just went to observe. If you check the news, you'll see who the star of the show was. The young man has courage, he has fortitude, he has aggressiveness. We must continue to strategize and plot and plan for the empowerment of our people. Different entities have to produce different things. If that brother's out front, then we need to be in the back, side, left or right, creating opportunities for our people, doing the other legwork and still showing that support. It's like that in every city. And the brother went down there and stepped on the Blue Lives Matter flag, a fake flag. which is the real terrorist group. Because the real terrorists in this country is white folks. White men are the real terrorists in this country. They go across the globe killing people of African descent. That's terrorism. But they flip it on us terrorists because we want to stop that. See the mindset? You can't change that mindset because we're speaking from white survival perspective. We are speaking from the black survival perspective. We don't need guns to eliminate them. We do that genetically. They can't stop their women from getting with Big Daddy Chocolate. And because the system works so well, you can't keep a lot of brothers out of white women. And once they go black, they never go back. So now you got a real problem here. You got a whole population of women who are yearning for the black flowers. If a baby is produced, the baby will be black with all his greatness. A little crazy because he's mixed with European genetics. That's something else my brother Keith Newsom will deal with. I'll let you know all about that. I'm going to touch that. And now these men are police officers. White on white, strong, corn-fed mule dudes who got beat up every day are now police officers. They went to all white school, got beat up by all white people, got a badge, now looking to beat up niggas. We had nothing to do none of that. Had nothing to do none of that. But they put their strongest and most races in the inner cities so they can dominate thoroughly, protect the interests of the dominant society. What is the interest? Black male annihilation in all facets. There's really no conversation need to be had because you're not moving from your position. It'll be outright death, and we are not moving from ours. I'm not part of any organization in regards to Black Lives Matter. I'm not. But I stand for survival of African peoples globally. That's what I stand for. That's what I stand with. And so those who back the blue, you're an enemy. And I only seen 2 black people at the rally, so I guess I'm happy with that. One goofy looking dude had to make America had a great, but it was only 2, I'm sorry. 2 at the rally, about 350, 400 people. So I'm happy with that. I see that our people are waking up to what this world is really like and what this thing is really about. Brothers and sisters, it's been beautiful with you. SoundCloud.com/GYHOAP. Get your hand in my pocket on Facebook. DeQuinn Mr. X on Facebook. We got YouTube right here. Cash App, brother, to help him get a better phone so I can do more stuff on the phone and it won't be so much audio problems. Because I have a lot of audio issues on my Facebook Live. People say they love the lives, but the audio reception is bad. It's some type of feedback. I don't know if I'm getting messed with or it's the phone device I have that is no longer very functional in the way that I want to use it. So Cash App, Mr. X, R, capital. So it's, I do this every other show, kind of. Cash App. There you go. Hey, that's all I got. For the one person that's watching, tell YouTube to donate. You make a lot of money off us. Shout out to Minister Malcolm. I may do something on the Queens that just died. I'm kind of late on that, but yeah, probably not. It's okay, though. It's okay. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. We may have something coming up on SoundCloud tomorrow or in the next few days. All right, it's hot. Enjoy the weather. Get some water. Peace, y'all.